When I was merely 5 years old, I was severely beaten up on an everyday basis. And my mom, she really tried to stop this. She begged me to do karate lessons. She pleaded with me to get into Krav Maga, but I just wasn't interested. I was always way more excited about judos. Today I'm going to show you two awesome variations of the traditional peg grab. These are the 1 foot peg grab and of course the judo. Since the 1 foot peg grab is the easier of these two, we'll start there. Before jumping in, you should definitely learn 1-handers, 1-footers, and the peg grab. A good place to start learning this trick is to get comfortable taking one side of the limbs off the stick. Right hand, right foot, or left hand, left foot. Just do a bunch of jumps, taking both off at the same time until it becomes second nature. The next step is to practice on the ground so that you can get a good feel for how the trick works. You're going to want to kick your foot out into the side and reach down towards the pegs. Don't worry too much about touching them just yet. Just get used to the sequence of kicking out and reaching down, because you're going to be in a very similar position when you take it to the skies. Find some grass or something soft to jump on, and remember, it's always a good idea to start small and work your way up. This goes for pretty much every trick there is. To start the 1 foot peg grab, you want to kick your foot out of the way and while simultaneously pulling up on the handlebars. Don't worry about grabbing the pegs right away. Just get used to the balance of kicking one foot out and reaching down with the other. This movement requires a yin and yang approach. If you kick out too far, you'll probably end up leaning that direction. If you pull up on the handlebars too hard, you'll probably end up falling in the other direction. So find a nice middle ground of kicking out and pulling up. The more comfortable you are in the air, the easier this trick is. Sooner or later, you'll feel good enough to actually extend your hand down and get a hold of the pegs. From that point, you can start working on tweaking it out and getting some style. It's all about progression though. Well, that's enough about the 1 foot peg grab. Let's move on to my second favorite trick of all time, the judo. The judo is an incredible trick because of its versatility. It allows you to get the stick out of the way and really pull the pegs up into your body and get tucked into a tight ball. Judo's looked incredible going down stair sets, jumping off of walls. Just ask Michael Mina about his judo off probably the biggest gap anyone's ever jumped off of in Paris. It's ridiculous. The basics of the judo are very similar to the 1 foot peg grab. Instead of kicking out into the side, you're going to kick your foot directly forwards. When you do this, you're going to pull up on the bars much like you're doing a tuck. From there, you can grab the peg for a steezy judo. You can even pull up on the pegs and get into a tighter and more stylish judo. Now that you know how judo works, let's start with some ground practice to get a feel for how it works. Stand on the pegs and kick your foot out in front of you, then squat down a bit and reach down for the peg. This will be easier in the air because you can pull up on the handlebars and get a good tuck going, but try to get a good feel for kicking your foot forward while you reach down for the peg. After a bit of practice, you'll be ready to take it to the air. The air steps are the same as the 1 foot peg grab. Start with some small kicks forward while you take your hand off the bars. Take your time here and really get used to the balance between kicking your foot out and pulling up on the handlebars. As you figure out your balance, you can start kicking out further and further. You can reach your hand down further to grab the pegs. And eventually, you can grab onto the pegs with enough gusto to yank them up and get yourself into a tight, stylish, sexy little judo ball. The higher you get tucked, the cooler the judo is going to look. Many people feel off balance when trying to learn from the 1 foot peg grab and judo. This is usually the result of either pulling up on the handlebars too much or reaching down too far. But remember to keep your motions balanced in the air. If you only kick your foot off a bit, you should only reach down a bit. On the other hand, if you kick your foot out as far as you can, you'll need to tuck your legs up to your butt to maintain your balance. Take it slow, find your happy place in the middle. The more comfortable you are in the air, the better it's going to look and the cooler you can make it. Well, there you have it. Those are two awesome variations to the peg grab, the 1 foot peg grab and the judo. They're used all the time in all kinds of places. If you like these videos, make sure to subscribe to this channel for even more cool Pogo tutorials. Drop us a comment below on what you'd like to see next. Until next time, have fun, be safe, and don't get judo kicked in the face. But there are some common variations to the 1 foot peg grab. A lot of people do bar spin, late 1 foot peg grab, judo late 1 foot peg grab, or the Majana grab. My all-time favorite trick, however, is the judo backflip. They work really good together and it's a really cool trick that not a lot of people are doing.